What is up, guys? Jack Gardiner here. I hope you enjoyed that little demo track at the beginning there. Should I turn that into a full tune? It's super rough at the moment, as you can probably hear, but maybe there's some potential there. Let me know down below in the comments. Before we get into this, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you that have been checking out all of the new music that's been releasing recently, all of the music videos. You know, Shibuya Meltdown featuring Ricardo Oliver and Gianluca Pellerito, Sanglass featuring Andy Timmons, and most recently, The Eightfold Fence featuring Mariko Muraneka. Honestly, the support has just blown me away. And there's another new track coming on October 3rd. I won't give away who the guest is for that just yet, but he's an absolute legend of a human being and an amazing player too. I can't wait for you guys to see that one. But without further ado, let's talk about the plugin that we are checking out today. This is the brand new Archetype Misha Mansoor X, and it's been a while since I've done one of these, really. Misha is an amazing player. He's an amazing producer. You know, he's basically the whole package, especially in the kind of rock, metal, whatever you want to call that world. And he's a top guy as well. We luckily got to hang out at Sweetwater last year, play some guitars. Such a nice dude. So if you're watching this, Misha, you're a legend, mate. Today, I kind of wanted to show you some of the sounds which I've created with this, which kind of steps away from what I guess it will be more traditionally used for, which I would be high gain, rock, metal, that kind of stuff. There's some really cool sounds that you can get out of this that are not from that world. First of all, let me just run you through the plugin interface as always. Here at the beginning, we've got this laser effects, which is kind of like a whammy ring mod thing. It's mental and it creates some really cool sound effects that can be used in layer, and maybe a little bit more of that later. There is the glitch pedal, which again is something completely brand new. I've never seen this in any of the other plugins. This is kind of like that modular, granular stuff that you hear, glitchy vibes, mainly used for layering, I would say. You know, if you've seen like Chase Bliss Audio, it kind of reminds me of some of the sounds which I've heard from some of their pedals, but very, very cool, very complex as well. In terms of pedals in front of the amp this time, you've got, I mean, this is Misha's own company, Horizon Devices. It's just a faithful recreation of the compressor. There's also the precision drive there, which is one of Misha's too. There's a tape echo for all of these kind of, you know, like modern, what do you even call that? Rock? I don't even know. Maybe I'm getting old now, you know. There's a dual octaver, and then there's a chaos pedal, which literally, it adds rhythmic chaos as far as I can tell. Weird artifacts, things like that. In terms of amps, we have 3 with this one. You've got the cabinet section, which is on all of the Neural DSP plugins. There's an EQ section, likewise the same. And then here at the end, we have like a chorus slash, I guess it's flanger. It's a modulation pedal. What's really cool about the modulation here, and I should have mentioned this for the laser pedal too, is that of course you can control that yourself via automation, or you could set it up with like a MIDI pedal. But there is an auto function too. So for things like the chorus, you can set it to auto kind of rotate through that sound. Or should I say, is it rotate? What would you call that? My brain's not really working well today, but it can be done randomly as well, and the speed can be like set to automatic, which is really cool if you just want to create quick sounds. Reverb pedal sounds really nice in this one. There's also a shimmer built into there too. It just sounds very boutique-y to my ears. And then there's the stereo delay, which you will have seen in other pedals, but this is something I haven't seen in any of the other plugins. There's a ducker function, and that is actually super useful, especially if you're playing lead sounds. Some guys would do this with like a bus send, I guess, or, you know, they'll manually automate the reverbs and delays, in this case, delay, on their track itself. With the ducker, what that does is it essentially means that the delays get out of the way of what you are playing kind of automatically. You can control it via this knob, how extreme that is, but that's a really cool function, especially for you guys who are going to want to solo using this delay pedal. It just helps things from getting messy and cluttered. But enough of me talking about the unit, or the plugin I should say. Let's hear what it sounds like. Like I say, I'm going to walk you through some of the presets I've made, and we can check out as well some of the ones which are built into the plugin by default. Now, this is the default sound when you load her up, at least in the beta plugin, which I have here. And I guess that this is aimed more at the kind of modern rock or modern metal players. It's a real high gain sound, something which I never really use, but it sounds cool. Let's give this a go. Forgive me if you're not into this style of playing. I've just realised what that is. It's great for that kind of shred stuff, actually. I mean, it's way more gain than I would ever use, but it kind of works, I guess. I'm sorry, Josh Middleton, for butchering your thing there. That's the only metal sound I think I know. That being the other one. What else can we do that's shreddy? I think I've just knocked the G string out of tune there. Apologies to you as well, Paul Gilbert, for butchering your sounds. But yeah, super high gain. It works really well, I'm sure, for the guys who are into that, but it can also double as a kind of shred sound. Let's move on to some of my presets then. First, I want to start with the clean guitar funkish sound. Now, this is the clean sound you heard on that intro track at the beginning there. I'm not using any of the crazy effects. I'm just using the compressor with amp 1 here, the super clean one. In terms of cab, I've just got a dynamic 57, straightforward. I've done some weird EQ things here, getting rid of the low end and then some harsh frequencies, I think around 4K. And then there is this auto function set on the chorus pedal, reverb and delay. What I'm trying to get with this really is the kind of 80s, Michael Jackson-esque sounds that were really popular back then. It's almost like DI, but yeah, I mean, it works great if you want to recreate that kind of feel. Okay, let's check out what this one sounds like then. It's just really about like that kind of single line, 80s vibe. You could do chordal stuff as well with this. But really what I wanted to do is kind of cut through, is a punchy effect really. It works great with double stops as well as single line. Really, really cool. You could also go to the kind of split humbucker sound there for even more of a pokey effect. Go to that single coil in the neck and it just fattens out. We get rid of the chorus just to see what that's adding to it. Let's hear that. You can see how this could be a totally usable clean sound. There's no chance of that breaking up really, I think, even if I was to go here. Yeah. It's never gonna do it. Really, really nice. And then if you hear it without the compressor too, you can just hear with it on again. Off. I guess it's just adding some crunchiness and just balancing things out a little bit, really. Now, in terms of another sound, let's check out this next one. This one I've just called Glitch Ambient Clean, and it's the first time using this glitch pedal when I was creating this. I mean, this just works great for layers. I'm not sure how useful it'll be in terms of, like, say, you know, a band thing where you're having to provide all of the rhythmic information, but if you're just having to provide layers for a track or something like that, that could be really cool. Check out this. If I just play a chord and let go, you can hear there's loads of low end stuff going on there, and higher end stuff as well. I think it's like octave up. Oh, that was a horrible chord. Smelled funny. Really, really nice. And there's loads that you can do here. I mean, I had it set to half a bar, that loop length. I mean, look at all of these. If we were to go to pitch delay, for example, we can change that right up. Let's check out this. It's the randomness of it that is super cool. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of like real tone nerds that would love to play around with this thing. I'm not necessarily one of those guys. Let's see. Let's turn that all the way up. Let's see if we up the chaos as well, which I assume just completely randomizes things. Really cool. Let's turn the mix all the way up so you hear that too. That is cool. Maybe a bit too much for that, but if you're wanting to create interesting layers, amazing. While we're at that, should we check out the laser pedal too so that you can hear? I'm going to turn off the glitch for a second. I forgot which key we were in there. Playing that progression loads today too. But yeah, so this laser pedal, I mean, I guess it's like a whammy, but there's some crazy things going on. Of course, you could control this with a MIDI foot switch or like a pedal rather as well. But just some of these settings themselves are nuts. I mean, let's check out this. It's just like, what's going on? Kind of how I feel right now. That's describing the thoughts in my brain. It's just crazy. Let's try this one. I guess if you were to use this with like kind of a high gain amp, maybe there's some crazy things going on. That's the kind of sound. Reminds me of like old school Steve Vai that a little bit, but also when we were on the clean setting, that's kind of like South Park, you know, almost like ring mod stuff. I think there is a ring mod patch here. Let's try that. It's like really weird with the chords, but single lines. I guess this would mainly be used for sound effects, especially a song. Crazy. Anyway, let's turn that off and let's go to my next preset then. And this is probably the one which most people would want to hear from me, or this style of playing really. And this is a low gain lead sound. I'm using actually Amp 2. It's the lead sound that you heard at the beginning of that track there. Really nice and dynamic. All I've got is Amp 2. Don't think there's any pedals in front. No, it's just amp gain. There's not so much. I've cut out a lot of top end actually here. There was a lot of fizz, I think. And in the EQ section, I've tried to do similar. Then it's just reverb and delay. Typical ping pong. I'm using this ducker effect though as well. Don't know if you'll hear it here. It's just a bit more present. Those reverb, those delay tails themselves are more in your face when that's down. But back to kind of where it was set. When I stop playing, you can hear that they're more present. They're more, or there's more volume, I should say. But when I'm playing, it ducks out the way, which is really cool. Even roll down the volume and also get like a bit of a cleanish sound with this. A bit more. This is like less than halfway. Really nice. Fun. If you really want to get cool with this, though, we could boost this delay and boost a bit of reverb, and we've got a really nice like solo guitar type sound. Really nice. And then the other preset which I've got here is just called mid-gain lead. So this is just a bit more gain really. It's probably the most I ever use. Still not loads, but this is again amp 2. And if you see the gain on the amp itself is actually lower and the voice is different, but I'm using that precision drive in front of it. Really, really nice, but I guess that's more for that kind of stuff. At least that's enough gain for me, I feel. Aha. Definitely enough, but still my favourite sound is this. Really, really nice. Now, just for fun, let's check out some of the ones that are in here. I loved this sound. I think it was the Atmospheric DI ARP. Especially as kind of like a pad sound almost. There was another one, where was it? The was it? I want to find Dirty Mono Octaver. That's that lick which you heard in the middle. There's loads of funny little noises going on with that, and I think it's the laser. I hear it there. But they were just some of my favourite sounds, really, that I discovered when I was playing through this. What do you guys think? Is this a plugin that you would go for? Are you more of a rock metal player and you're into this high gain? Love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Check out my presets. If they're not already in the plugin, I'll leave a little link for you to download them anyway. But yeah, really, really cool. Hats off to Neural DSP and hats off to Misha. I'm sure for a lot of people, this is going to be tons of fun, especially with all those kind of special effects, lasers. What more do we need? Laser unicorns, laser raptors, as Kung Fury would say. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking this video out. My name is Jack Gardiner. Till next time, cheers.